That's right. Back at it again, Full Custom Hot Dog here, doing a little movie review. That's right. We're going to be talking today about the film Psycho Goreman, which just got a recent VOD release. Is due to come out on Blu-ray, I believe, sometime in March. And so this just popped out. This is a movie I was hugely looking forward to. So I figured, you know what? Instead of just pre-ordering the movie, I want to watch it now. And because I was very excited for it. It's also, I think, co-produced by Shudder, so it'll be coming to Shudder at some point. I don't have a solid date. I've heard people constantly ask, but I haven't seen anything yet. But I think they said soon, so I'm going to guess within the next month or so. They should just release it on Valentine's Day. That'd be sweet. But if you haven't heard of this, well, let's say what IMDb says about this movie. After unearthing a gem that controls an evil monster looking to destroy the universe, a young girl and her brother use it to make him do their bidding. So it's basically that. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's got some pretty fun bits in it. As you can see from the slideshow, a lot of wild practical effects, which are pretty cool for the most part. Sometimes it's a little janky and breaks me out of it, but the plot is pretty much what I've said. A brother and sister who were pretty solid. Some people have complained about the main character, which is the sister Mimi, played by Nita Josie Hanna, someone I'm not too familiar with, but her and her brother find a gem, and it's in possession of Mimi, and she controls this, basically an intergalactic demon, more or less, and people come to kill this guy because he's just this destructive force of the universe, and he has a penchant for hunks. That's not why they go after him. But with that, you get some pretty cool creatures, some interesting creature design. And like I mentioned, sometimes the effects don't always work for me, and they're a bit of a miss at times. But Psycho Goreman, the lead character, looks rad. His makeup effects are 10/10. He looks outstanding. And like I said, some of the other ones are a little rougher. And there's some charm in that, sure. But for me, I kind of lose some of that suspension of disbelief that's very important. And of course, you're probably saying, how much suspension of disbelief can you have when an intergalactic demon is awoken by children? I mean, there's a certain tone and evenness that I would like. Everyone should look as good as him, to me. And not everyone does. It comes close at times, but enough nitpicking about the special effects. The humor is interesting, and at times I think a little too much and too over the top. But when it works, it works. You have the father figure played by, where is he? Adam Brooks, who you might know from The Editor and Father's Day. I saw The Editor somewhat recently, so that stuck out of my mind. I really like that movie a lot. It's directed by Steven Kostanski, who was part of Astron 6. I don't know if they're still a thing, but he's done The Void and this movie, and I think one or two others maybe, without the rest of the group. And it's just under whatever that production is. But formerly or currently of Astron 6. I don't know Astron 6's current status, so if you know, let me know. I'd be curious. Their films haven't always worked for me, or his films, I guess. The Void felt a bit short, or felt like it fell a bit short, I should say. And I didn't quite enjoy it, though I liked the effects I thought were good. And some of the aesthetics were great in that. But again, something with promise that fell short for me. But I did really like The Editor quite a bit. I thought The Editor was very well done, very well put together. And the humor hits. Sometimes The Editor is a little much at times, but in terms of the humor. But I did like it. It looks like he didn't direct The Editor. Who directed The Editor? What am I thinking of? Oh, wait, he did. No, Adam Brooks did, the guy who starred in The Editor. Okay, well, they're all this little team. If you're not familiar with Astron 6, it's a crew of people who would make movies. They made the infamous Manborg. If you haven't seen Manborg, you should check it out. It's very fun and very jankily done in the most charming way. I mean that with love and respect. It's a very well done, fun little film. And this Psycho Goreman almost feels like it wants to, or it's mimicking that in some ways. And in some ways that works for me, and in some ways it doesn't. It's a pretty okay film. This feels like something Full Moon would have released, with maybe Moonbeam back when they were kind of doing their weird kids entertainment division. But this feels like stuff Full Moon should be doing. Go all in on something really interesting and unique with a pretty interesting director and writer behind the helm, and put some funds to that and put it out. Because this is the kind of thing I feel like they would have been doing had they kept on with their trajectory in the mid to late 90s, or even a little bit earlier when they were the kings of the direct-to-VHS market. And like I said, I keep saying this, there's a lot to like, but this wasn't my type of movie. I feel like if I was a teenager, I'd lose my nanners over this movie because it's just completely ridiculous. But again, there's a lot to like here. It's just not for me. One thing I have noticed that I find interesting about this movie is some of the discourse around this film. I'm in a couple message boards on Facebook. I guess they're groups, not message boards. I'm probably showing my age there. And I saw one thread where a person said he doesn't like this movie. It reminded him too much of Power Rangers. I think he didn't know what he was going to get into, because you watch the trailer and it kind of feels like a Sentai show, but not quite enough for me. I would have liked a little bit more of that. But the cool monster effects from those shows, it's very much what this is. You can tell from the pictures. So people were just railing this guy, just taking him to task over that critique. It was 2 sentences, he said. And people are just so butthurt that someone didn't like this movie. They were just kind of busting this guy's chops. And I was just like, damn, over a movie? I don't do that when someone says my favorite movie, unless we're really good friends. If we're really good friends and you tell me you don't like a movie I like, I'm probably going to talk shit. But that's what we do. We're friends, right? One thing I saw that irked me a lot, and I try not to go into this kind of territory because it's treacherous. But I saw somebody mention that dude bros are mad because the lead is a little girl or something along those lines. And the only things I saw were what I mentioned earlier. The young girl's performance was a little over the top and a little ridiculous. And sometimes that worked, but there's times when it didn't work. And I can get why a little of her goes a long way for some people. And I think that's okay. I hate these kind of arguments that we have where if you critique somebody, they're going to use something about them as a shield. And I can't imagine a world of film discourse where that's a thing. I mean, we saw it happen with Star Wars, which I can't talk about without my heart hurting. But we saw that where people criticized Rey Skywalker, and suddenly you're just sexist by powers unknown. You can't dislike a character anymore without something being used as a shield to make you the bad guy. I don't like that. You will never see me do that here. I don't believe in that. And I normally wouldn't bring it up, but it's been with me so much, and it's just rubbed me the wrong way very hard. So hopefully none of y'all are doing that. Unless you do see somebody that says, I can't believe the lead is a girl. This is stupid. We live in crazy town. Then you might be able to bring that up. But I don't believe in that. That's boring. It's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on the film. I thought it was pretty okay. Not my favorite of the year by a long shot. I love the spirit on display here, though. These guys always give it their all, and it was a solid watch, even a solid rental. Now, I did pre-order the Blu-ray. I don't know if I'm keeping that pre-order. I don't know if I'd watch this again as anything more than a boredom watch. I don't know. If I got a good deal on it, maybe. But day one, I'm okay passing this up day one. There's a lot I liked. I just wish I liked a lot of that even more than I did. Because, not for me. But I know a lot of people really like this. So, this might not be something you could take my word on. You might need to go on your own soul-searching mission to watch Psycho Goreman. I do recommend it, though. There's some fun practical effects here. It's a solid rental. Some good laughs and stuff like that. Maybe I just expected more. Sometimes I do that with film. I think we all kind of do. But let me know what you think in the comments, of course. I am your host, Full Custom Hot Dog. You can follow me on Twitter. It's Full Custom Hot Dog without the last O, because it is just too long for Twitter. So, thank you all for watching, and until next time. If you like what you see,
I love what I see.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you can watch whatever comes next. And if you like the music you hear, you can follow me on SoundCloud and Spotify. Check the description for links.